Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. We back. We back with another one. A real quick impromptu. You know what I'm saying? Goat
Mhm.
talk. You probably be getting a lot of these, just unscheduled situations from a lot of Eagles content creators, this week because we don't play. You know what I mean? And we back, man. Listen, I want to apologize, y'all. I had some technical difficulties. I had to get a new MacBook, so you might have missed like 2 weeks of Goat talk or something like that. So
About that.
I had to get the equipment right, but you know the vibes, man. We about to jump right into the meat and potatoes, though. This video is brought to you by Manscaped. Big Manscaped in the building, man. Make sure you go there, man. Use code Brunson, say 20% off, get the free shipping, and the free shipping I fought for that for y'all. Holidays coming up. Get your pop squared away with them 4.0s. You know what I mean? Mike, what's good, bro?
Hanging in there. Kind of scheduling my Sunday, right? The wife knows the Eagles don't play. She thinks I'm not gonna watch football, but we still watching football. Gonna have red zone on.
Facts.
Interested to see what happens in that Washington Dallas game, but you know, it's still all about the Eagles.
Yeah. It's definitely still about the Eagles. But man, we kind of got to watch a few games this week. You know what I mean? We got to be mindful of a few things that's happening, especially with the one that I'm really looking at. I'm not even really looking at our division game because I just don't even think it matter. You know what I mean? In terms of like who wins and who loses, it really doesn't matter. If Dallas loses, this is how I'm looking at it. If Dallas loses, then great. You know what I mean? I'm happy that I'm happy if Dallas loses because that brings us one step closer to Dallas as well. You know what I mean? We still can get the division out of this. You know what I mean? It's not impossible. People acting like Dallas like 6, 7 games in front of us or something like that. If Washington loses, then even better. You know what I mean? Either way, it's not bad for us, man. How do how do you see it playing out though? Like what would you like to happen between Washington and the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, for me, even though we're not out of the division, I think we would need our chips to fall perfect and the Dallas Cowboys chips to just totally collapse, which, what can go wrong will go wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. And I do bank on that. But I believe the Cowboys are going to win. And I would like the Washington football team to lose. I'm not trying to settle for the wild card spot, but I'm trying to think realistically. That's
Mhm.
our best chance. And Washington losing does give us some wiggle room that if we would lose this first game to Washington, the next game and when we play, then would be the absolute most important game because Washington has nothing but division games as well. And no matter how we feel about the Giants and Cowboys throughout the years, spoilers happen when you play the NFC East late. So we got to take care of our business first and foremost. But Washington losing, which I believe is going to happen, gives us wiggle room to maybe drop one. Well, if we lose to Washington, then we would definitely have to win out. But I just think it gives us the wiggle room we need. But there's no reason why we couldn't win out. You know what I mean? We're going to have to play some top-notch football, but
Yeah.
we're not playing world beaters these
No,
last
yeah,
few
yeah.
weeks.
I agree, man. I'm kind of getting greedy on this one, man. I'm looking at the top spot. I'm kind of looking at the top spot. I mean, if Washington beats Dallas, Dallas still got to try to have a get right game against the Cardinals, the best team in the conference. So if Washington beats Dallas, it's a high probability that the Cardinals are going to beat them as well. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Then if we beat Washington, you see what I'm saying? We could, it could really get interesting if it happens that way. So either way works for me. Either way, leads into a playoff berth. But as you put in the title of this one, of this backdrop, time to write the stories, man. Who do you think needs to write their story? Now we all know the obvious answer. You know what I mean? We could skip Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? But give me a guy after Jalen Hurts who needs to write his own story, and I'll give you a guy as well. And then we're gonna talk about why Jalen Hurts needs to write his own story.
Yeah, when you look at this team, there's a lot of stories that are untold. We're on the first chapter of a lot, right? We got so many young guys on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, you might have the final touches, right? On a guy like Fletch, a guy like um not Darius Slay, Ronnie McLeod. Who knows
Mhm.
how long they're gonna be here past this year? So they might be writing their final chapter in Philly. But I want to stay with the news story and a guy who I think has been the most inconsistent out of everybody, and that is Jonathan Gannon. His story is missing a lot of holes. I mean, there's some bad grammar in that story, right? So he needs to change some things up. And whether we believe in the Tyler Heineke's, the Daniel Joneses, and we will get Dak Prescott one more time, he has to shut these teams down as best to his abilities, and he can't play scared. We know his motto: C plus or less, he sends the hounds. C plus or higher, he plays back. Well, I don't know what he was thinking, but he was scared of the Jets quarterback, Zach Wilson, for the first quarter, but then he came to his senses. But we're going to need to have complete games on the defensive side if we're going to take down these last 4 teams, because they're coming from blood. Even the Giants, who are garbage, you know what I mean? They have nothing to play for. They will love to spoil the Philadelphia Eagles, as simple as that. So we're going to need JG in that defense to finish the story.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Everything you said, I didn't even think of him. I completely didn't even think of him. I thought, like, the first thing I could think of for me is like when a guy got to change the narrative that's circulating around him, it got to be Jalen Reagor. I mean, he's getting a lot of snaps. You know what I mean? He's getting treated like a first round pick. It's not like a guy who was saying, well, if he could get on the field, he's healthy, he's getting snaps, he's always available, but it's just not producing. You know what I mean? And it's so disheartening because we're not all that at wide receiver. If you double Devontae Smith, which you're starting to see right now, teams are playing bracket coverage on him. If you start doubling them and put more bodies around them, then you got to go to Dallas Goedert. You know what I mean? Dallas Goedert is a great tight end, but you still need to be able to find another wide receiver who could potentially make a big play for you. Dallas Goedert is not going to make a 60-yard bomb. He's going to have to catch it for 30 and run it the other 30. That's the only way that's going to happen. You need somebody that's a wide receiver who can take control of the narrative, man, for him and for themselves. I think the wide receiver core in general, man, they all got to control the narrative because, you know, Devontae Smith, we know that he's young, he's still developing, but he had 2 bad games in a row as well. You know what I mean? Or 2 games where he was missing in action as well. The whole wide receiver room got to show me something. I don't care who it is. It could be Arthur-Whiteside. Somebody got to step up and have a big game. You know what I mean? During the stretch of this run that we got to have, man. But, you know, the elephant in the room is Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts has to write his own narrative, man. Now, you know, I can give you the list of reasons why I believe he need to write his own narrative, but I'm interested in hearing what you got to say about why you think it's important for Jalen Hurts moving forward to write his own story for these last 4 games.
Yeah, well, I'm going to steal something from Philly Fresh. He said it in one of his videos. Not necessarily this is the only reason why Carson Wentz got paid, but when he strung on them last 4 or 5 games against division opponents, you know what I mean? We all thought he was back, right? And Jalen Hurts hasn't fully arrived. He's a young quarterback, first real season, but it could be a tone setter for this young team and him going forward to really rally off some W's, make some big moves, make some good plays, and get us into the playoffs. The Philadelphia Eagles team organization is a funny organization when it comes to the quarterback position. I'm talking from the fan base, from the upper management, and the fact that we have this amount of capital is really going to have a guy like Howie Roseman just really looking at that position, and is demanding a position all across the league, especially Philadelphia. And I think you said, you know, a lot of people want the guy who can sling the ball all over the field, and there's not too many of the Lamar Jacksons and the Jalen Hurts who you're going to give them they're going to give you a chance to win just off their playmaking and legs alone. And with these type of quarterbacks, you got to be patient because you could have something really good or you can have something that's average, but you're not going to find that out in one season. These are not the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, the Drew Brees, the Peyton Manning. They're not going to drop back. Like Mac Jones, if he doesn't impress you with his arm year 1 or early, well, then you're like, well, he doesn't got anything else to fall back on. If he's not throwing the ball good, we can't win games at all. He's not athletic like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can give you a chance to win while he grows. I've seen pretty big steps, not like in volume, but in games where he didn't do that in the beginning. He didn't do this early in his career. So me personally, am willing to give him the chance, but the ball's in his court to force another year with a big performance down the stretch. Everything will be forgotten.
I think if he plays well down the stretch, I think this is going to happen anyway. I think he's going to get another shot at the position next year, unless he is just dreadful. I mean, he got to be dreadful the rest of the way. I mean, I'm talking about he got to probably
Giants game.
Yeah, he got to throw like 9 picks in these last 4 games. He got to be terrible. You know what I mean? For him to not get another chance or even get considered for it, because Listen, the facts of the matter is this: we're in the hunt. Nobody can't dispute that. We already won two more games than we were supposed to win. You know what I mean? Everybody had us as a 4-win team. Gardner Minshew wins the game. Jalen Hurts wins the game. You know what I mean? An extra game. That puts us at 6. The team has already improved. Jalen Hurts has already improved on what we did last year. You got to give Jalen Hurts. You got to give him more rope. I'm sorry. I can see if we got one win. I can see if we the Lions. I mean, it's an improvement. Jalen Hurts has been in multiple systems. He's been in 4 different systems the last 4 years. You know what I mean? You got to give him the opportunity next year, regardless. But if he wants to shut everybody up, if he wants to seize all doubt, if he wants to become the man, you know what I mean? Carson Wentz was the man to me all summer when he won those division games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a long summer after that. He was the man, even though he got injured by Clowney. But Carson Wentz was just the man to me. I was beating my chest. Like my man put in that work when he had to put in that work. We had an 8% chance to get into the playoffs. We got I think we got more than a 50% chance. He got to go out there and he got to be the best version of himself, despite anything. I'm telling you, man, if he can go out there and do that, he shuts a lot of these haters up. I mean, he's proved a lot to me as well. Like you said, I mean, a lot of people say that, he's nowhere in the league as Trevor Lawrence, but up until after the Giants game, he still had more passing yards than Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? Then you add on 700 rushing yards as well. I know those are just stats. He got things he got to work on, but I'm just really, really ready for this dude to go over there and just snatch his respect at this point. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I think he's one of those guys that has to, write his own story as well. Yeah, man. But what really scares me is what I want to talk to you next, man. What really scares me is Jonathan Gannon. I'm glad you brought that dude up, man, because I feel like if it's a way we're not going to make it to the playoffs, it's on his account. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And just to the point of all young quarterbacks, right? We see the best one being who? Mac Jones. I know you were on him early, but you also got to look at the system he was put in, right? Belichick is not a losing coach, it's not a losing organization, right? So I don't want to poo-poo on the Zach Wilsons and the Trevor Lawrences as much, even though they're not having the year that analysts projected them to have. Their organization is bad. But who are we to criticize a bad team? We won 4 games last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We restarted everything. So again, this league at the quarterback position is really based off what you have and the foundation that is built around you, or you being a plug and play guy with a good team, right? A quarterback goes to Washington, they're loving it, right? Because of their situation. A lot of these struggling quarterbacks in the league go to Washington. Now they got a decent offensive line, a run game, wide receivers. They're going to be better, right? This is not a comparison, but Dak Prescott was the second option for a while on the Dallas Cowboys. It was the run game, simple and plain. And that year before they got Amari Cooper, they were under 500 or right at 500. Amari Cooper changed life for Dak Prescott, and then the rich get richer, right? Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. So let's be honest, having guys who can do multiple things on offense at the skill position helps, right? Look how Dallas Goedert made Gardner Minshew look. One of them balls was completely underthrown and a couple of screen passes. That's 75 yards of Dallas Goedert off things that Minshew really didn't have to do or did wrong. Goddard saved the day. So you just got to have guys around them, and we're not in a position to say, let's just keep plugging and playing quarterbacks. We're retooling. No matter how many people don't want to hear it, we are. That's why our offense, they're all under 25. And now we have to get our defense close to that 25 mark. And you can't do that if you keep getting on the quarterback carousel, right? Ring around and around and around.
Yeah.
You got to do it. Merrill Reese said it best. Merrill Reese, I think he was talking to Dan Sileo. And, I got mad respect for Merrill Reese. He's the voice of the Eagles for a long time. This guy believes in Jalen Hurts. I think Merrill Reese will be upset if he doesn't get a chance next year. And I'm not saying Merrill Reese is X and O savvy, and he admits Jalen got to get better with his accuracy. But the way Merrill Reese speaks on him, watching football for 50 years, seeing all the great ones, I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, you can't deny the intangibles, but we all know that he does have to. He got to put in more work. That's plain and simple. The Eagles situation, I would say, is different from teams like the Jets and the Jaguars. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the Jets and the Jaguars, like you said, they don't have much to go around. So it makes sense that your quarterback will look that bad. The Eagles actually have some veterans who've been in the Super Bowl on the roster still. They got some character guys that's on the roster. They actually don't have that bad of a roster, which was why it doesn't surprise me that we in this situation, to potentially make some noise in the postseason. It's just a lot of, it's a lot of doubt that's swirling around the quarterback position. And I'm just wondering if these guys are good enough to, filter that out. I wonder if Jalen Hurts is good enough to filter that out, man. I don't see this. I don't see, and this is one thing that I've been seeing a lot. I don't see the franchise lying and saying that this dude is hurt just to not play him so they can play Gardner Minshew. You know what I mean? People got to use their mind at some point. Your backup quarterback came in. I think Jalen could have played against the Jets. I personally think he could have played. I think he was healthy enough to play. But it's the Jets. Why not give him 2 weeks of rest and let Garner go out there and put out some good film? Gardner Minshew did his job. He did his job. His job is to put some good tape out. There's a lot of teams that could use a quarterback like Gardner Minshew. It's probably not a quarterback better. It's probably not a quarterback in the draft that's better than Gardner Minshew in the first round. It's probably not. It's a lot of teams services of Gardner Minshew. So I'm happy he put on that type of performance. But Jalen Hurts got to make sure, and this is just what it is. They can say they're a team, they're a quarterback room. Jalen Hurts got to make sure that he didn't put on a good enough performance to challenge his position. And that's just the facts on that. But, Jonathan Gannon, man, this guy scares me to no end. Because like you said, man, we see multiple defenses. We see multiple respect levels for different quarterbacks based upon who these quarterbacks are. You see Jonathan Gannon get into these situations to where he kind of doesn't challenge, opposing quarterbacks like he should every week. When you look at a guy like Ron Rivera, he's bringing the smoke for every quarterback, which is why they was able to get a win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a game that was really winnable to us, in my opinion, as well. So Jonathan Gannon should in all actuality be on the hot seat more than Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? In my opinion. I mean, with the level of completion percentage that he's given up, just the flat out failure on defense for the first half of the season in the majority, you know what I mean? That's just it's just mind blowing in itself. And you can't approach these division games like that, man, because these teams are coming for us, man. They absolutely coming for us. And, do you got any games this week besides this division game that you think is a must win or a must lose for us 14?
Well, nothing is must because we really do control what we need to do. The Vikings game would have been great for the Steelers to beat them. They came back, but the Steelers are a straight bad team. The other one is the San Francisco 49ers, right? They played the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals just got absolutely destroyed by the Chargers. I'm looking for the Bengals to bounce back in Cincinnati. And again, the teams we're really got to watch, the Saints and the Falcons and the Carolina Panthers, you can throw on that because they're, one game behind us. But I really don't think we should be concerned for them. I think it's the Vikings, the Niners, and the Washington football team. So Niners, I'm going to keep my eye on. Same with Washington. But again, I don't like to really, and I said this in my thing, and I know not too many people think you can win the bye week, but to me, winning the bye week is just an added bonus. And it's not just moving up in the standings. It's also getting healthy, which we got some key guys. Howard looks like to be back. Sanders gets some rest. Our quarterback gets some rest. And Jason Kelsey, he went out. He gets some rest. So right there, you're winning the bye. I thought this was a horrible time to have a bye, but it fell perfect. And then again, watching these other games, Washington loses and San Fran loses. You kind of did nothing, moved up, and you're getting healthy. So it's just a win. It's not like I'm trying to count on other teams because the Eagles have an opportunity to finish their food regardless of what's around them. But because the Eagles have been the Eagles this year, I always want to pay attention because I'm going to keep talking playoffs until we're mathematically out. Some people don't like it. Like we lose it. When we lost to the Giants, I was upset. People automatically saying we're out of the playoffs. I'm like, not yet. Like people don't understand why are you still talking to playoffs? Because until we're mathematically out, I want to go to the playoffs.
And then you play the Jets next week.
Exactly.
I chalked the Giants loss up, honestly, to just a bad game. It was a bad game by the quarterback. Nothing more, nothing less. If we played the Giants 5 times again after that game, we smoked the Giants all five of those times. It was just a bad game for the quarterback. You know what I mean? I just couldn't really find myself to dwell on that loss that much. He looked bad. I'm gonna be honest. I get the sense that a lot of the fan base was waiting for that game. It's a young quarterback. That type of game is bound to happen. A lot of the fan base was waiting for that game right there, and I just think that type of treatment is just unfair to a quarterback that we all know that need to develop. We never
Hmm.
said he was ready. Now, you know what I mean. It's all about being behind the guy who's the guy for you. You got to do that at some point. We give up way too much on talent in Philadelphia, and then we keep the wrong talent alone. We keep the wrong talent on the roster far too long. It's like we had Mac Hollins over here doing nothing for 85,000 years.
Talking about he don't want to be. He's like, I don't really want to be a wide receiver. I like playing special teams. What?
What? You know what I mean, bro? Your biggest moment, this was Mac Hollins' biggest moment. That little Fortnite dance that he used to do, and everybody knowing that he rode his bike to the stadium. I mean, bro,
Yep.
your biggest moment should be in your profession.
Hmm.
Period. Especially if you got a profession like that. I mean, I'm talking outside, you having kids and stuff like that. Cool. Those are also big moments too. But bro, what have you done for the $1 million for the people that's paying you $1 million? What have you done? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, come on, bro. I'm just saying, man. The running back room is back being complete. Jalen Hurts is back getting healthy, and I think that it's a great time for us, man. And you spoke on you not liking the placement of the bye. I kind of like it though, bro.
Yeah,
We
now
want
I
to,
do
yeah.
because of the
We
situation. It came
not
in
even
handy.
well, not even because of the situation. I just feel like teams they get that late rest who are in position still often do well. Like we won a Super Bowl. I think we had a late bye. Didn't we have like a week 9 bye or something like that?
Yeah, but we talking about week 14.
but week 14 is really like an extra week up because you got another game. But I see, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But it's a lot of teams who won a Super Bowl with a week bye. I just saw like some graphic about it. But yeah, week 14, and then you got the division left. Bro, I like it. I like the placement. I like the placement of this
Yeah.
bye, man. I really like the placement of this bye. So like, do you have any fear of Washington week 19 at all? Like, do they scare you? They are hot. They're a 4-win team. If they beat Dallas, they'd be a 5-win team. Do they scare you?
No, I watched that
Right.
Raiders game intensely, right? And a lot of people, I look as soon as the Eagles beat the Jets, I made a video right away. Talk because we were the 7 seed, so I snapped it off the TV real quick, put it in the video, and I predicted the Raiders to beat Washington so we can remain in that spot. And it came down to the wire, and they were cheating. Washington just been playing close to the vest, right? Their
Mhm.
defense was supposed to come into the league this year pretty tough. It's been getting better as Chase Young went down. I don't understand that, but they're very beatable in the secondary. I'm looking for a bounce back game from Devontae Smith. And again, Tyler Heineke, yeah, he's all right. But if you can really bracket or send Slay on Scary Terry, I don't fear that team. Their running game has been kicking up with Gibson, but the Eagles have been slowing down running backs. I just think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think we're going to really need our defense to play. And I do get excited about this defense when we play these type of teams, right? The teams that don't have great quarterback play and are not trying to beat you down deep. They're trying to run the ball and dink
Mhm.
and dunk. See, when we play a dink and dunk team, we play it right. When we play a team that wants to throw down the field, we get scared, we drop back, and then the team is smart and they do dink and dunk all the way down for a touchdown because they're just smarter. The good quarterbacks want to throw the ball down the field, right? Herbert,
Yeah.
Carr, Brady, Mahomes, Prescott. They want to throw down the field, but they're not stupid. If you're going to play, if you're going to need 2 TVs to see your safety, they'll just check you down in the middle all day.
I think a lot of that was coaching too on a lot of those opponents. Now, granted, Brady is a coach on the field in itself. So is I would give Derek Carr that coach thing as well. But Dallas always wants to throw the quick pass. So for us to come out like that against Dallas is just ridiculous. Dallas wants to get the ball in the playmaker hands, automatically. But I think the Chargers coach, who's also a rookie coach, I think he peeped it. Like, listen, just throw it short. You know what I mean? Just get rid of it. Just throw it hot. They're sagging off. Like, if the quarterback ain't gonna see it, the coach gonna see it. If the coach
Yeah.
ain't gonna see it, a special teams player gonna see it, or a player gonna or a player gonna tell the wide receiver somebody gonna see that this is just dumb. It's the
Yeah.
NFL, and
Yeah.
they're gonna expose it. So I mean, Gannon's scary. He's scary, bro. He is so scary, man. And the defense just don't. The defense ain't look prepared to me coming out that game against the Jets. If you come out lackadaisical like that against the Jets and let them score on the first opening 2 possessions, Taylor Heineke could do that. He might not be Tom Brady and them, but he better than Zach Wilson. He could do
Yeah.
that. He could come out and do that, man. So it's like, yo, like what's really going on with the soft play, man? This is the stretch, man. This is the stretch. This is the stretch.
It is. It is. And I do like after them 2 drives, I'm mad it took them 2 drives. The one player that was killing us, which was the guy you liked in the draft, Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore was just absolutely eating up Nelson. Nelson got hurt in that game too. He looks to be back. And of course he's not good, but I'm telling you, some people like, ooh, Zach McPherson did okay. I trust Steven Nelson more than them, right? He's got beat. My biggest thing about getting Steven Nelson wasn't because he was going to be a great compliment to Darius Slay, but it was better than Josiah Scott, Michael Jaquette. Like, we didn't have a number 2 at all. He is just a average cornerback in the league. Teams will pick on him, but Slay got to follow Scary Terry. When Slay started following Elijah Moore, the defense changed. I think if you look at all the greatest, the 2 best defense, the best defense performance of the year, besides the Lions, I think was against Carolina. That defense really kept us in. That was that tooth and nail fight to the end. And then Jalen with his playmaking in the legs took us over the top. But what did Slay do? He followed DJ Moore. Then Slay followed Elijah Moore. When Slay follows, I think it gives our defense the best opportunity. And he hasn't followed all season. And I'm really not scared of any other wide receiver on the Washington football team other than Scary Terry. And he's a beast. Like, he's low. He's one of them receivers you forget because he's not a big name. He's not a diva, and people just don't talk about him. But he's a tough receiver.
Yeah, he's possibly the best receiver in the division.
Yeah, he might be.
That's arguable.
I know Cowboys don't want to hear that, but he might. Now, listen, real talk though. Even though, CeeDee Lamb is a problem, and I think CeeDee Lamb is their best receiver. I think he's better than Cooper, and it's one of them, Scary Terry or CeeDee Lamb, and I'll just never understand how that happened in that draft. How did it get that?
Facts, yeah, I agree with that. Our running backs are back healthy, and that's a big thing for us, man, because, I think the team takes pride in being the best running team in the National Football League. I just feel like they want to play physical. They want to play their brand of football. I like the way Jordan Howard operates behind the line more than Miles Sanders. You know what I mean? I got to say it differently, because if I say I want Jordan Howard to be the lead back, people are going to be mad at me, especially after Miles Sanders rushing for like $124. But the physicality that the offensive line brings and the physicality that Jordan Howard brings beats teams up. Miles really not beating nobody up, but Miles going to get his. He's going to keep the chains moving. He's going to do him. Jordan Howard just brings a different level of physicality, man. And I just love it. Now, I love the way that the running backs are being blended. So thankful for me, I ain't got to pick who I want to be RB1. As long as they both get some touches, I think we'll be good in the run department, man. But, Washington don't scare me. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's nothing scary about them. I feel like the football team is they're coming along this season as a product of decent coaching, better coaching than they had in recent years. Nothing changed. If Washington was scary, they wouldn't be scary missing a guy like Chase Young if he was a generational talent. You know what I mean? That's just plain and simple to me, man. I think Washington is a gritty team, a grimy team. They got an identity, gritty and grimy, but at the same time, if you could put up 30 points, like we've been averaging close to that, we could beat them. Yeah. They're not one of those teams that's going to just go up and down the field and put 30 points up on us if we play a competent brand of defense. So I'm not scared of these guys at all, man. The only team that's scary that's left on the roster to me is Dallas, and it's like, do the game even matter to them at that point? It might not. You know what I mean?
That's why low key. Look, and listen, I know you started this out with I want the division, and if we somehow want a division, they're not gonna be able to shut me up regardless. But that last game, if Dallas beats Washington this week, right, then it looks like it puts Washington farther from catching up to Dallas, and so the more low key, the more Dallas wins. I hate even talking in that light because I hate them with a passion. The more we get to that last game and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Facts. Let me get to these quick two super chats real quick. My guy Raw Rap Radio said we may have to deal around for another solid wide receiver, even though we're going to go heavy on defense. I just don't feel solid and comfortable with our wide receiver core yet. Hey man, that's a good observation, man. You got some heavy hitters coming up this offseason. So, I think you draft defense and you spend some money because you're gonna have some money. I think you draft defense and you sign somebody.
Chris
That way.
Godwin's going to be Chris Godwin's out there,
Yeah,
Mike Williams out there. They're big body receivers too.
right.
I
Allen
mean, look,
Robinson, right?
Allen Robinson's out there, right? Look,
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with the speedy guys, right? Like the fast guys like Quez, you need a couple of them on your team. But
yeah.
we need that Alshon Jeffrey type of receiver, right? You
Mhm.
get one of them big boys outside, Pauls. You got Devontae, who's the big target. You got an athletic tight end. You got Devontae Smith who can run routes. You got Quez to go deep. Run game, it's looking good.
Bro,
Just need
this team,
that wide receiver.
I really feel like this team is a C plus or better in the draft and a big wide receiver signing away from contending.
And Kelsey coming back next year.
And Kelsey
Please.
coming back next year. Yeah, yes, from contending. And,
Yeah.
and it depends on the development of Jalen Hurts as well. But if you can get some good young guys that can produce on defense, like an edge rusher, a linebacker, you know what I mean? And you could sign you somebody like Allen Robinson, and you got Devontae Smith who'll be going into a second year. Goddard's already paid. You're really, really there. If Jalen Hurts continues to progress, we're not that far away, man. My guy McNabb Fab 5, man, thanks for the super chat. He said, LB, I trust your opinion more than paid analysts. Is Rager a bust? I'm going to let Mike answer that. And I'm going to answer it. I'm going to let Mike answer that.
The definition of a bust is wide, right? It's a wide. If I'm going to grade him in his second year as a first round pick, it's later, right? Let's be honest. It was pick 2021.
Mhm.
A bust means you have no chance to come back, right? Like once you get the bust label on you, you are done, right? Like people throw these words out crazy because we're in 2021, social media, everybody can tweet and talk trash and it's just crazy, right? But the word bust means never ever coming back. I won't go that far, but he's right there. The dude's confidence is shot. There is talent inside, right? There is. We saw Nelly do it before, then he lost his confidence and he's pretty good out there. Graded on the first round scale, I really do want to say it, but I don't want. It's 2 years. Really, you really don't know what a wide receiver is till 3 years. You got guys like Justin Jefferson. Sorry to bring that up. Who just show you right away. He's leaning towards that. I mean, I just don't like to say it right now because of how big. To me, that word is crazy, right? Like Jamarcus Russell, bust.
It's like failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're done.
You're done.
This is my take on it, man. I think I almost forgot what I was about to say. I think that Jalen Reagor. Okay, in terms of talking about Jalen Reagor, what does he do really, really well? You know what I mean? Let's think about this for a second. Does he block really, really well? He's not the best blocker wide receiver. I think Devontae Smith blocked better than him.
Well, listen, the last game, Devontae Smith had less snaps than Quez and Reagor because the coaching staff believes Reagor blocks more. And I didn't like that. Regardless if we were going to run heavy or not, never have Reagor in the game more than Devontae Smith.
That don't even make sense. Okay, so he blocks good. Okay, say that's his one good quality. His one crazy superstar quality. He blocks really good.
Well, he don't even.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. What you was about to say?
Well, he doesn't really block great. He's just if you're going down the blocking pole, you don't want little Devontae out there too much blocking, right? You know what I mean?
That's the one thing. That's the only thing I ever heard good about him. So I gotta say that's his thing. You know what I mean? He blocks good. Say that's his thing. Or David Whiteside block good. So we got two wide receivers that's getting playing time that only block. What the fuck? What is going on here, bro? He was a first round pick, and the other one was a second round pick. If you could call, bruh, he looking like some busted Nikes. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna lie. He looking like some busted Nikes right now. He's looking like a pair of busted Nikes. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because I know the confidence plays a role in that. But if Nelson Aguilar can regroup and be productive, I can't give no pass to a first round pick. So he's looking like some busted Nikes, man. But I'm gonna say he 80% bust. The
Yeah.
Last Saint, man. Thank you for the. Let me get this one real quick. Last Saint, thank you for the super Jason. After Washington waxed the Bucks, the defense had held teams through the 5 games on 14-point average. Washington defense isn't a joke. Isn't a joke through streak. Oh, through the winning streak. They a joke to me, man. They a joke to me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. They a joke to me. It's Washington, bro. It's Washington. And Washington. Come on, man. I hope we take them serious. I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean? Jeremiah Butler, man, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, fan base. Rager, not JJ. I think a Whiteside can be bust. Our expectations do negate the fact that they were overdrafted and it's not their faults. That's a good point. That's a good point. He's basically saying that, they are what they are. It's our responsibility to not draft them.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, coming out the draft, right? If you did as much digging on Rager before he got any played time in the NFL, his qualities were, he had some speed. He had game speed, right? For a little guy, a 43-inch vertical ain't no joke. So he was a guy who can play a little physical. You don't want to throw him like the back shoulder fades, but he can do it. And I think there was a higher potential on him through people's mind because of how bad the quarterback play was at TCU. And they saw him do this with bad quarterback play instead of, like Justin Jefferson was getting the ball thrown to him by Joe Burrows, right? That doesn't automatically mean that, right? Good is good, right? If you watch it, you see it, go ahead and draft it. But I think there were so many things they thought they can do with him in a return game, in the screen game, because that year, once again, when you look at yards after the catch, the number 1 wide receiver in the college was CeeDee Lamb. Number 2 was Jalen Reagor. And we always talk about him not being used right? But I can't deny the fact that he did get 5 screens for negative 16 yards. It's just like you can't make that stuff up. And I'm sorry, I'm laughing. But it's wild. And I think our screen designs on them plays wasn't great because he's getting the ball and he has to make something happen right away. So it's not his fault. I would like to see him gain more confidence. When we played that Raiders game, right, I thought we used him on 2 or 3 wide receiver verses where he gained like 10 yards each time. Mm-hmm. Then he got hurt when he got down to the 1. I think easy touches will get him right. You saw the one hand, you saw a couple great grabs in the offseason when we were practicing with teams and stuff. I think it's more of an effort and a mind thing. I think there's talent down there, deep down in him, but we do need, I think we just got too many of these littler wide receivers. And I think it does hurt when they're getting matched up against cornerbacks that they just can't beat with how they want to call this game. We're not really sending too many people deep. A lot of these routes are short and on the outside. We don't even use the middle of the field via the game plan, right? Because people said it was Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew was throwing all to his right too. So it's just really weird. And when you see receivers leave here and be a little bit more productive, well, then you got to come back to the organization, be like, well, what are you doing to these guys? Why ain't you here's something Gate City said, right? I understand that he didn't come in as good as Justin Jefferson, but why didn't he get better? What is going on in the building that, okay, he's not as good as Justin Jefferson, but why is he not getting better? Why? Jalen Reagor looked better last year.
For that, though. I think he's not getting better because we drafted another number 1 wide receiver. I think his ego is just fragile. Listen, everybody in the world knows who the number 1 wide receiver is. We knew that when we drafted him before we even seen him play. We're like, he's the number 1. People were saying Jalen Reagor was the number 3 coming into the season. Like everybody, there's a lot of people that would prefer Quez Watkins over him. I might be one of those guys.
I am too.
How you know what I mean? How can he get better if he hasn't lived up to his potential? You know what I mean? He hasn't lived up to anything. We constantly keep putting wide receivers in front of him because they're producing more. He's just not good. He's just not good in certain spots. I mean, I don't mean to say it like that. Damn, I didn't mean that. But I'm saying he just ain't showing why he should, be battling for the number 1 spot. This ain't no Mike Evans, Chris Godwin scenario where 2 guys are like bona fide number 1s. This ain't Justin Jefferson and Thielen. You know what I mean? This is a guy who can't even field the punt sometimes. I mean, he can.
This dude, he put his hand up. He waved for a fair catch so late he smacked the ball. Right? He just,
bruh.
You're right. Look, you know what? I'm gonna say, look, and again, to me,
he's looking like some busted nights.
yeah, look. I really don't. I really like to wait at least 3 years. Like you could have the worst career, but I think you need 3 years to even be considered a bust, right? Because a bust is like, to me, we got to get the exact definition of it, right? In the sports world, I don't normally say 3 years, but if you could be a bust early, it's Rager. It's Rager.
Yeah. He got it. I mean, it's just I feel bad for him. And to talk about the draft placement though, like I don't think where Arthega Whiteside was drafted is a bad spot. Because like you said, I think you alluded to this earlier. He actually was one of them ones in college. You know what I mean? He was pretty decent in college. You know what I mean? But Rager, on the other hand, it's like we don't even have to talk about it no more. We all know it's not a feasible way that you pick Rager over Justin Jefferson. It just didn't make sense. Cruz said, how Washington football team defense improved once Chase Young went down. That's a good point. That's a good point, man. That's definitely a good point.
Over their last couple games in this winning streak, they've looked better, but they've looked better by stopping a run. They're still vulnerable against the pass. But what do the Eagles do well? Run down people's throat, pause. So I don't think we should change, right? We saw the Saints and the Broncos stopping the run. Didn't phase us. I think we still got to come out, run the ball, and let Jalen pick his poison, pick his shots. 15 to 25 passes is a winning formula now. When I talk about Jalen Hurts, they're like, well, we're not going to be running the ball forever, right? You're right. And so what I want is this year to be 15 to 20 passes, run the ball heavy. Next year, 25 to 30 passes, run the ball heavy. Go that route, right? Lamar Jackson, even Russell Wilson's first year, and I'm not comparing accuracy. I'm comparing the coach putting the responsibility on a young quarterback. That year they won the Super Bowl, they ran the ball more than they threw. Somebody asked me, name the last time a team won the Super Bowl that ran the ball more than passed the ball. And that's that one, right? A young quarterback, great defense, run the ball, make the right throws. And I think as he grows, it could get better. But we need to fix his defense because you see names on there. But in the next year or two, them names are going away and we don't got no replacements.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Super chats is rolling. Let me get to these people before we get out of here real quick. Matt Hatter, $5 super chat. Thank you, bro. He said Hurts has 3,500 passing yards and 1,050 rushing yards, 31 total touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and is 6-1 in his first 11 starts. Your thoughts? 58% completion percentage. His first 11 starts. Your thoughts? I think that's damn good. I mean, if you could look at the numbers and tell me why that's bad, you bugging. I mean, you would like the completion percentage to be higher, but you also got to understand that him having 1,000 rushing yards in his first 16 starts, he probably ain't even throwing the ball that much. And, we haven't been throwing the ball that much. So, the room for error, that's on him. He got to complete more passes. But, I don't see nothing wrong with the numbers. The record, a couple different systems jumbled in between those 16 starts. I don't see nothing wrong with it. You got anything to add on that, Mike?
I like it. The completion percentage could be a little bit better. You want it to be right around 60 or north of 60. However, you're counting them last couple games he played last year and he doesn't dink his dunk as other people's do. He does throw the ball down the field, right? If you look at his yards and through the air and stuff, he's top, he's an upper echelon of throwing the ball. So a guy who's going to take risks is going to have less completions, but people who are scared to throw the ball don't normally take them risks. So I just think he got some stuff he got to work on, but the mentality at the quarterback position and going down the field is in his head. So I like it.
Yeah. Jeremiah Butler, man, he said it's simple. Rager nor JJ Arthega Whiteside were ever NFL receivers. It actually baffles me to be seeing what we're seeing with these two in Jefferson and how we still living his best life.
Chilling.
Facts, though. Facts. Chilling. Big chilling, man. LT, what up? He said, you missed my other super chat, LB, but it's good. We can't keep busting ones. Rager, Barnett, Dillard, Smith, Watkins, 5 misses, 10 years, 50%. 50% in the F grade. You're right. I missed your first one. My bad, LT, man. Shout out to you, though, bro. But I don't really think Barnett is, totally a bust. I don't think he's totally a bust. I mean, I think he just still got some bonehead plays that he make. But listen, no man that recovers the game-sealing fumble in the Super Bowl is a bust to me. He did his job. He can go on about his merry way now, but he did his job for me. I ain't mad at him. I'll forever be indebted Corey Clement might be out the league in a year and a half. But Corey Clement, I will forever be indebted to. I'll forever be indebted to certain guys that was on that roster, man. Who knows? You know what I
True
mean?
that.
But, I guess this is going to close it out, man. We 45 minutes in. Thank you to every 301 of you guys that's in the chat. Shout out to my guy, Philly Mike. Goat Talk is back. We will be back on his channel next week. And, I will be laughing either at the Cowboys or Washington. Listen, we get to laugh. We get to laugh and rejoice and get healthy. We get to eat some wings, drink some wine. My YouTube community, 500 and Mike, one of them probably still going to stream the game, but they get to take a day off if they want. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just some good stuff that happened, man. What you got going on for the rest of the week, Mike?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this defense because a lot of people are, I've been doing a lot of the offensive videos, and I do need to talk about this defense. And I'm definitely not streaming tomorrow. I'm going to sit back, relax, and watch this game on my couch.
Facts.
It's going to be good.
Me too. I'm on the same mission too. And real quick for y'all, man, for everybody, man, Lunchtime with the Bullies family, everybody that follow me, man, thank you. We just came out with the merch drop today, so go ahead and check in with the Print Champs. Check that out, man. And listen, you know where to find Mike at, but I'm still gonna put the link to the description for his channel. You know what I mean? Make sure you sub my boy up, man. We both on the road to 20K. We're gonna keep it pushing. You know what I mean? And y'all be safe and have a good weekend.